Hey guys, it's Tepco Cycle Repair. Today I'm going to get into doing the body work on this, the Bondo and everything. So the first thing I do is strip all this paint off. I'm going to use a mix of chemical stripping and sanding because of the shop I'm in. If I just go ahead and sand in here, it's going to make an absolute mess. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some 36 grit paper, which is really coarse, and I'm going to just scrape it a little bit around the whole thing, and that'll help the paint stripper kind of bite into the paint. Sometimes if you spray it on top of this, it takes a little longer, but if I just take a little bit of 36 and scrape it up a little bit, it'll just help everything bite. Not enough to scrape the metal or nothing, but I'm going to sand the whole thing anyway to finish the metal for primer. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I got some 36 grit. This is just some Norton 36 grit, and you see the scratches. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to give it some scratches, and it'll just help everything bite in. And then I'm going to go back and hit it with a DA after everything is cleaned up. But if I just do this little simple step right here, as soon as I spray the stripper on here, it'll just bite right into that really easy. If you're having a hard time with your liquid stripper getting into the paint and just kind of sitting on there and not wrinkling it up, just do this real quick. You can see I'm not going crazy. I'm just scratching it up just so it'll bite in. And you can see where the lines are, where those scratches I was telling you about, where it kind of bites in there. And you can see where it's starting to shrink up. So it just helps get the paint stripper below the paint. That's what those little scratches are for. All right, guys, so the key here when you mix in Bondo is to try to keep as much air bubbles out of it. You don't want to stir it. You want to just kind of fold it like this and just kind of push it down. You see how I'm just kind of pulling it and kind of sliding it against the Bondo on the bottom. You just want to kind of move it and fold it and try to avoid getting air bubbles in it because it'll save you work in the end. So here on these first coats, you want to put it on heavy enough where you're filling all the little voids and you're putting enough on so that you have to do less tight coats afterwards. So you put a bunch on here because you're going to cut this one kind of roughly with a rough 36 grit paper. So you know, you want it to be smooth, but you know, you're not really worrying about how perfect it is. You just don't want to have big lumps to cut out of there. And you know, all kind of messed up. So you want to put it on there heavy for this coat because you're going to cut this one all the way down. All right, guys, so I got the Bondo wiped on here. I put a lot on because I know it needs to you know, make it easier, one less step. If you put them really thin on there, you might have to wipe it 2 or 3 times. So let's get it on there and try to get it all done. So we got that on there. We got the Bondo on the side, the top here. I'm going to let this dry and set up. I also got some over here. Yeah, there was a lot of dents in this tank. I'm going to be using a medium board. I like these medium boards. I've used this thing for many, many years. It's a great board. So just the perfect size. And I got 36 grit on here. And then I'll just cut down all the top parts on it. And when I'm done cutting all the highs and everything, I'll move over to this 80 grit right here. And then we'll start getting down to it. And now when the 80 grit is done real close, if I got to put another wipe on, I will. If not, I'll switch over to 180. I'll sand it with 180 with that medium board or short block. And then after that, it's time to prime it. So I got a short block like this in case I got to do anything with the 180. All right, guys, so first cut down. Got a couple high spots in there. I just topped them down a tiny bit. The next coat will take care of that. And everything's looking pretty good. I'd say this is messy, right? Yeah, I'm going to go vacuum all this up and start over with another coat. All right, guys, this second coat right here, you can see it looks like some more, but it's just really thin coat. So I just pulled it a little bit further than the first one, and then I'll start sanding this one down with, I'm going to start with probably 80 and then 180 really quick just to feather it all out, and then we should be good. But like I said, it looks like more, but it's pulled really tight and thin, and it goes over the edges of the other, so it'll just blend right in good. All right, guys, so there's the last coat right there put on. I cut it down final with 180, so it's all feathered and nice on the edges. I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple coats of primer and then block it again. We're getting there. All right, so I got the first coat of primer. I just primed over the Bondo spots to start with. I'm just going to coat this whole thing on the next coat, but just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at. Everything is coming along pretty good. I can see a couple things I got to take care of, but nothing really bad. See, right? You can see that line right there. I'm going to take care of that. All right, so here I'm using an water gun. This is a primer mix, and I'm spraying it over and overlapping, and just kind of putting enough on there. This is a kind of a medium build primer, so it'll put plenty on there for me to block it down. So I'm just going to put a nice medium to heavy coat on this, and then we'll start blocking everything down. All right, just a little bit of polyester putty. So I had a couple little pinholes, and I had a tiny ding right there. It was just small enough to not need Bondo, but that's all. And this is the green putty. The green putty drives a little bit quicker, 05096. There's also a white putty and a red putty, and they all dry different speeds. So this is sandable in, I think, 15 minutes. And you get a 2-minute working time, or a minute and a half working time, and it's ready in 15 minutes. All right, guys, we're looking good, nice and smooth, ready to go. Next thing I got to do with this is just give it a scuff and lay some paint on it. So I'm going to pick up the paint. I think guys are going to like the color. So just wanted to show you what it looks like. Remember that big dent right there? Gone. All right. Remember the front end here? These are all smashed in. All good to go. This thing's going to look awesome when we get it painted, guys. Stay tuned. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for further notifications. And the next one, guys, we're going to put some color on this thing. This Tepco Cycle Repair.